Hi, I'm Jeff Altman, the Big Game Hunter. I'm called the Big Game Hunter because I coach people to play their professional and personal games big. I was asked a question on Quora today, and the question translates into, what should I do before my first job interview? And I think it's actually a pretty simple question. I think most people know the answer, but this person is probably a little frightened, and it's understandable. It's the first one. So number one is lighten up on yourself. Reduce some of the pressure. There will be other interviews after this. You want to do well, think of it as great practice. Now, even with thinking of it as great practice, you want to do a certain amount of preparation. So number one is make sure you have appropriate wardrobe, right? You want to be dressed properly for the kind of job that you're interviewing for. Obviously, if you're interviewing for a training program, an investment bank, you dress differently than a job in Silicon Valley, and you dress differently than you might if you're going to Whole Foods to interview. So dress appropriately for the occasion. Next, start to do a little research about the job that's involved. How do you do that research? Well, there was a job ad that you applied for in all probability, or you were referred by someone. No matter, look for the job description or talk with your friend who referred you for the job about the position and what's being sought. Then start to prepare answers to predictable questions firms might ask you. Don't know what some of them are? My website, thebiggamehunter.us, in the blog area. Look for tough interview questions. That's one of the tag areas. I think it's located on the bottom of the page in the blog. And start practicing answers for tough interview questions. Start with the basics, like tell me about yourself, and go on from there. Now, it's not enough to think the answer. You have to hear it come out of your mouth. And it's best of all if not only you hear it come out of your mouth, but if you practice with someone who's able to give you constructive feedback. I'm not talking about feedback that says, that sucked. That's not constructive. And you want them to be able to say things like, the way I heard you talk, it sounded like you were frightened or scared. Or the way I heard you talk, you kind of spoke quickly. It was hard to follow you. Whatever it is, look for someone who can give you that kind of feedback in order to improve. Practice, practice, practice. Everyone tells you to research the firm. It's not like it's tough. Go on the web, look at their website, see what they do for a living. You probably already know it, but assuming that you don't, find out what they do for a living. Go to LinkedIn, look up the profile of the person or people that you'll be meeting with. You're not connected to them in any way. Try a Google search or try a search using li-usa.info. That's a US-centric site to look at LinkedIn public profiles it's public profiles from LinkedIn. If the person doesn't have a LinkedIn profile, you're not going to find them, obviously. But it searches all public LinkedIn profiles. Look at the person's background. That'll let you know if they're an HR or a hiring manager. And again, practice, practice, practice. Practice to the point where you seem sincere and believable. After all, when you go to the theater and you watch a show, or you go to a movie, you don't start thinking, oh, that's so-and-so on the screen. You start seeing them in character pretty quickly. And they have rehearsed to be that simple in their presentation, so believable in their presentation, you forget that they're a human being who happens to be playing a part. You see them in that part. That's what you want to be doing. You want to be believable, credible. You want to be a human being who's looking for a job, not just simply an applicant. I'm Jeff Altman. I hope you found this helpful. My website is thebiggamehunter.us. There's a lot there you can watch, listen to, or read to help you find work more quickly. And if we aren't connected on LinkedIn, send a connection request at linkedin.com/IN/thebiggamehunter. If you have a couple of questions for me about job search, schedule time through my website, thebiggamehunter.us. I'd be happy to answer your questions. And if you know someone who could benefit from a coach, have them reach out to me as well. Again, you can schedule time through my website. It's not cheap. It's just good. Have a great day. Take care.